To a lot of us, saying goodbye to the viaduct was saying goodbye to the old way of getting around.
This is my father, Gus, here.
To Dan Miller, it meant saying goodbye to a family legacy.
So proud of it, and as kids, just every time we'd go on the viaduct, he would start telling us different things about when he was building it.
Dan's father, Gus, moved to Seattle during World War II.
Met my mom and never went back to Philadelphia.
He got to construction and ended up becoming one of the men who built the viaduct from the ground up, setting the concrete in the early to mid-50s that would one day support 90,000 commuting vehicles every day 65 years later.
Today, to build something like that would be so much easier. Back then, it was heavy timbers, incredibly amount of labor.
Dan grew up in West Seattle with a sense of pride, knowing that his father was a part of Seattle's progression.
So when I look at the picture that Dad, when he was working on it, you know, I really appreciate what those men did for us.
In that picture, you can see a string that was used to make sure the columns were lined up correctly. Dan says lasers would do that job today, and that speaks to the hard work that was put into building the city we know today.
I know we'll have a beautiful waterfront when it's done, but to look back at those men and women that constructed that and their foresight to see to build it, you know, it's amazing.
Dan went on to become a carpenter himself and says that the lessons he learned from his father about hard work, he passed on to his children and his children's children. And as the viaduct will eventually come down, he hopes others will think of those lessons too.
Show up, do an honest day's work for an honest pay, and hold your head up.
Hoping history will not be left behind in the city's latest growth spurt.
It'll be gone, but we'll never forget it.
Vanessa Mishania, King 5 News.